What up, fam? My name is Brother Sean here, and just a few miles down the road from me is my cousin.
Sujuane or Swanee T.
That's right. We like both names. Fam, welcome to the third installment of Chicken and Rice here. Things are moving pretty fast, and I think we're getting down to where we want to be. What you think, cuz?
I think we are. Yeah, we're moving along slowly but surely. Yeah.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Last week we covered quite a bit of ground. Video was a little longer, but there was some business that we needed to take care of, and that's why we just felt that we wanted to really establish ourselves. We are Chicken and Rice. We are talking about our family, the discovery of each other, and trying to reach out to our other cousins. We're not going to, we've already hashed out a lot of that stuff in episode 1 and episode 2. We're not going to rehash that. Both of those are uploaded, and catch those. You go to Chicken and Rice. We're going to explain all of that towards the end. We're going to jump right into our topic today. We're talking about generational curses today. So, Juan, we're talking about what is, in fact, the Mackey generational curse. We had a little bit of a preview in our private conversation yesterday, and you got lit.
I did. I got real lit. I'm not gonna get as lit on here because
well, no, hold
it's a public forum, but I did get lit behind the scenes a little bit.
I do need that same. I do need that same fire and that same.
Oh yeah, you always gonna get the fire because that's just me. Yeah,
I do need that same fire and that energy here. So, Miss Smith, what is in fact in your eyes here? I want you to take it away here. What is our generational curse? What has been plaguing us, at least from what you can see, these past 40 years, and what have you learned that happened before that?
I feel like our generational curse is burying our heads in the sand. Sweeping stuff under the rug. That's something that I've just have come to recognize as a consistent pattern within family members on that side of our family. It's just we have this bad habit of pretending like stuff doesn't exist, stuff doesn't happen. If we don't talk about it, it'll go away. We have that type of energy in our family. And I think that probably has contributed to a lot of the disconnect and the breakdown in a lot of our family relationships as far as cousins not knowing each other and that kind of stuff. So with us, instead of us actually dealing with the issue itself, we just pretend like it doesn't. We sweep it on the rug, pretend like it didn't happen. So it's like if we can't kind of out of sight, out of mind type of situation. And so I think that's like, that's just, it's beyond me because I grew up with my mom, of course, but I primarily interacted with my dad's side of the family, and they were completely opposite. They were all about talking out your problems, and that took some doing for me because I wasn't accustomed to talking about my problems. I was accustomed to being quiet and just, pretending like, again, it didn't happen. And eventually, it'll work out,
Kind of knowing your place kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And, and I think that's something that's not just specific to our family. I think that's something that is something with Brother Sean showing y'all his Brother Sean wanted to show y'all his house real quick.
Ignore that, family. Ignore that. Don't even.
You literally inviting them in. You inviting them into your home, literally.
I want my family up in my house now.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Yeah, I want y'all home. come on home. That's why we doing this. Come on to the house. But continue. Oh boy, we done got off.
You know once I start, I can't.
Oh my. Oh Lord.
Sorry. I am one of the most goofy people you will ever encounter in your life. I am
all facts
to my core. I'm really silly. Don't be so agreeable, Sean. But okay.
Someone's got to be the mature one here.
He's not that mature either. Don't let that fool you. Don't let that serious face fool you.
Lies.
But
but go ahead.
But yeah, like I was saying before, Brother Sean was giving y'all a tour. I think that it's something that Black people, and it's something that just really irks me about Black people, about our people sometimes, is we do that kind of with in the name of religion. And I think that's something that keeps us stuck because, how many times have you heard just pray about it? And for me, it kind of is just a nicer way or a religious or spiritual way of sweeping stuff under the rug. Just pray about it. And I think people don't realize, Black folks especially don't realize, is that prayer has to be followed by action. Right. God gives us free will, but he also gives us the means to go after whatever it is that we're praying for or praying about. And so I think that's what it is. I don't know about how you were with your, with the Mackeys on your side, but I know they were extremely spiritual and go to church every Sunday, Bible school, vacation Bible school, Bibles, they were very, very into church. And so I think that a lot of that came from that, is that if we just pray about it, then it'll go away. But we don't have to actually do anything physically about it. We'll just pray it away. And I think that, again, that kind of feeds into more of what the generational curse is for us, is that we just don't want to talk about it. We just don't want to talk. We're going to pray about it, and that's going to be it.
So are we so if I'm hearing correctly, are you saying that we're kind of using our religion to kind of help us not deal with things that are harming us? Because the very purpose of coming to Christ, and for those that are religious or spiritual, is about experiencing true freedom.
Yeah.
But if you're rejecting that, then you are still in bondage.
Yeah.
So that's counterproductive to what it is that you say that you believe in, and basically what you're saying. Basically, that's the show of your faith. There, you're saying that I'm struggling with this faith of dealing with certain issues that I know that is going to be hard to climb up. Climbing up that hill is hard.
Yeah.
Climbing up, and then when you have these hurdles, these pains, these real pains, they can be quite tough to deal with.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. Just kind of burying things in the sand. But what is it necessarily are we burying? What is it that we're overlooking? What is it that we refuse to see, or that we refuse to deal with? Can you give me some examples here on what is it that we just refuse to deal with as a family?
I think death is a big thing.
Okay.
Death is we have a hard time a lot of times saying goodbye and letting go. And we just don't want to deal with the fact that, whatever is about to happen, because unfortunately we've had a lot of unfortunate deaths. Because I've watched my mom, I've watched my granny, I've watched my aunt, I watched all of them bury children, and they do have great faith and strength and all that stuff. But again, just kind of just burying it deep down inside, under, and it's kind of filed under faith and prayer, as opposed to going to counseling, for example, like going to counseling to talk about those feelings. It's like we don't express it. My mom a little bit more, and I think she really doesn't have a choice, because I'm just a person that I have to get it out. If I don't get it out, I can get very, very destructive. I get reckless with my mouth, that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm a person that has to get it out. So, and that just completely is like, it's the direct opposite of of what we do on the Mackey side. But death was definitely a thing. I spoke about you yesterday, I think, when my grandfather was passing away. In my opinion, I saw some of that. They just did not want to deal with it. They did not want to accept it. And I understand that it is hard. It's one of the hardest things you probably ever do, aside from burying a child. But burying a parent is just unimaginable. And I went through it, with my grandmother, not my mom. My parents, thankfully, are still, healthy. But I went through it with my grandmother. And that was, again, one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, is being up there and you not knowing, having to go up there in the first place and see this shell of a woman, who was so strong, incredibly intelligent, kind-hearted, just this person that you has been the center of your world for, a huge chunk of your life, to her laying there basically almost a vegetable. That was really difficult, but I had to put her first, no matter how hard it was, no matter me laying there in the hospital day in, day in and out, night, waking up every 2 hours because the nurses are coming in there to check on her, not knowing if I'm going to be awakened to her stop no longer breathing. I had no idea. But in that moment, and in those moments, it was about her. It wasn't about nobody else but her in those moments. And I think for me, I got that strength, honestly, I think I got a big chunk of that strength from her, because there's just no way. But, with my grandfather, it was very, very difficult for them to go up there and see him in that state. It was hard for all of them to be able to do that, and it's nothing. And I don't want to think anybody to think that I'm knocking my mom or my aunts or my family or nothing like that. It's nothing like that at all. I want to make sure I set that straight up front. We all have different levels of strength, but I think that just speaks to the fact that it's in my opinion, it's easier to kind of just sit back and just, not do anything. That was it would have been a lot easier for me to just stay home and be like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
That would have been so much easier.
Taking a path of least resistance. I wanted to make a comment about, dealing with death and, just kind of, because something came to my mind while you were speaking, and what screamed at me, I think that a generational curse that we're dealing with as a family is the perception of perfection. And I think that is a lot of, you talked about, kind of not wanting to show, weakness there, not wanting to show any flaws, trying to maintain the reputation, just this tough, rigid, expectation of perfection.
Yeah.
And that is a weight on, that just serves as a weight on the shoulders that's a little hard to carry. With, what I'm saying? And it don't matter if you got one person, two person, people, perfection is hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's, and nobody is perfect.
Right.
We're gonna make mistakes, but I just think that we just got a lot of, just this. I want the family to strive for excellence, okay, but to understand that not necessarily learn from your mistakes and allow yourself to be humbled by your mistakes and then moving on. Not just moving on, but moving up.
Right.
Okay. And just actually just learning, and no one's perfect. And I think that one of the things that I see is that perfection really, I can say on my side, kind of really kept a lot of, the first cousins separated, because as we talked about the last 2 weeks, just a quick rehash, some family members, some families did better than others.
Right.
So when you have that, and then sometimes you're hearing the grandparents, saying, well, this kid is doing that, this kid is doing this, that, and the other, and my son-in-law does this and that and the other, and he can help us out. I mean, that can create some big time division.
Yeah.
And that's just something I don't know if we always say, well, we tell these stories to kind of encourage you to say you do the same thing, but that can be devastating to hear, especially when you don't have the wherewithal to move like another family moves. So we talked about that, classism, how much education you were able to attain,
right.
So that's that's tough, a mother who has to work, and then the mothers who get to stay home with their children.
Yeah.
Is that that is, for a long time, that was the model of success. Dad works, mama stay home with the kids.
Babies. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was a mark of success.
Yeah.
Some mothers had to stay home by necessity.
Right.
But other mothers did not have that particular privilege. And then other families, had health issues within the family. Some had issues with some of our cousins. They just became kind of distant, couldn't be reached. So I just think that, all of that just kind of falls into perfection, just trying to look perfect, so that nobody can see your flaws, and that can be that can be quite devastating to a family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So how is it? What? Talk about how these curses really grieve the family, other than just kind of keeping us separated. How is it taking a toll on the family? I think one of the things that take a toll is, as you get older and the siblings get apart, they just kind of let that, they never get over that, that jealousy.
Yeah.
And they just
that competitiveness.
A
lot of competition within families.
They don't let it go.
Yeah.
And then as family members start to move on, they don't go to each other's funeral.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not go to your brother and your sister's funeral?
I could not think of anything that great.
Yeah.
That would keep me from attending somebody that close to me,
Yeah. That you grew up with.
Right. I could not imagine anything keeping me from going to say my goodbyes and getting my closure.
I mean, this is not a kindergarten classmate, you know what I'm saying? Or, or a first grade teacher. Yeah. This is your brother.
Yeah.
Your sister.
Yeah.
Okay? And I mean, think about that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to talk to them before. Well, heck, you might not even miss that because you hadn't been talking to them.
And see, that's
So
the other thing too, is we do so
that,
much in the name of religion.
yeah,
And it's like, but it's also, again, it's just not just our family, it's just families
yeah,
of Black folks in general. We do all these things in the name of religion, but the very important parts of it, we just, again, we sweep those under the rug and pretend like they don't exist. Like forgiveness,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. And so it's like, well, how do you not forgive yourself, especially when you get up in age?
yes,
You know, like
yes,
how do you let that much time pass as an elder person? Because typically, you know, what I've noticed with around elders is that typically as they get older, they tend to soften a little bit. At least from my experience on my dad's side of the family, they tend to soften up a little bit, and you know, and because you're getting closer to, you know, your expiration date, so to speak. And so it's like, well, I need to make things right before God calls me home. But it's like we're stubborn on that side of the family. They like, you know what, I'm just gonna have this grudge and hold this beef. I'm taking it to the grave. And I'm just like, I don't understand that. You know, and I mean I have my own issues, but I was telling you yesterday with my older brother. We're a bit estranged, but I don't foresee anything, anything, even with whatever little petty stuff we have going on now. I don't foresee anything that he could call me right now and be like, "Sis, I need you," and I would be like, "You know what? I don't fool with you like that." I would still be there. You know,
mm,
I can still love you from afar. I can love you, but I don't have to necessarily. Um, we don't have to be super close, but you're still my family at the end of the day. And I'm still gonna have your back, whether or not I may not necessarily like you, but I'm always gonna love you as my family member. So, you know, I think we just really need to we need to have these conversations. So many conversations that need to be had within our family, and I guess that's the next thing is how do we move on? You know, I guess that kind of ties into that, moving on from that. How do you get those conversations started? And I think it's kind of up to us as our generation to get those conversations started, because it's like my mom, she's a prime example. The conversations that I've had with her, and then the speaking up that she does do, is only because I've initiated.
mm-hmm,
You know, I've initiated those conversations like, well, mom, what about this? Or mom, you know, when I was telling you about her, you know, speaking to my grandfather while he was in the hospital, you know, before he passed, you know, I think if I had not called and set that up, I don't know that she would have had those moments with him, you know. And so I think it is really up to our generation in order to heal this stuff. It's up to us to start these conversations with our parents, with our grandparents, with aunts, uncles, other cousins. You know, I think it's just up to our generation to start those conversations. And I think that with us starting the conversations, that's definitely how we're going to heal and move on. And it might not even be anything that we can do for the generations before us, but we could at least set the precedent or set it right for the generations that come after us.
yeah. And I was about to ask you, do you think there is a way to reach out to our cousins, especially those that are close to our age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger? Do you think that it's possible that we can reach out to them without trying to address the hurts of, you know what I'm saying, of the family and the generational curse? Is that possible? Should we just try to, you know, get names and try to make phone calls and emails and write letters? Or do we just need to have a family town hall and just go down the list? Like, what do we need to do there, in your opinion?
I think we should do what we've been doing by starting the podcast, social media, um,
Oh,
I went and got my hair braided today, and it wore me out. But anyway, but I think it'll be kind of like the trickle down effect. I think once we reach out to the cousins that we know, that we're close to, that are comfortable with us, and then have them reach out to cousins that they know that they're comfortable. And I think as we do that, it'll just kind of spread like wildfire. But I think I've also had the idea of having a Zoom meeting, like
right.
once a month or something, and just getting on Zoom, and then just cousins just hopping on and off. You and I can host it, and we're just hopping on and off and just saying, hey,
Yeah.
and then you get a chance to meet
Mhm.
cousins that you've never met before. We can have in the little chat and all that, and cousins could put their phone numbers in there, or make sure everybody's
Yeah.
following each other, or we can start a
Mhm.
private family group on Facebook just for Mackey family members, and
Oh
just
yeah.
go from there, and just create a safe place for us to just connect and reconnect.
And we have so much. The more I'm starting to learn, we have a lot of resources within our family. We are related to some smart people. The Mackeys are some intelligent industrial individuals.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn, and we're missing out. We're missing out bad by having these divisions among us. Is really affecting us, and we need to close the bridge. And I don't think that we don't need to have a war room situation type meeting.
Right.
We just need to get started. We
Yeah.
just need to get started, because there's some stuff that we know. I mean, we know names now.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
we know names now.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of showing some love to our family members. Again, we're gonna have to come to a place of some genuine. The kind of love that we offer is probably love that people, our cousins haven't experienced yet.
Right.
And I think they want it, but it's hard to, saying you can't recognize it for real, genuine love when you see it at first. You have to especially if you didn't grow up in that kind of setting,
Right.
That kind of stuff, it looks like manipulation.
Yeah.
And I think you can speak to that or agree with that.
Right. Absolutely.
That's we have to be very careful. We're not here to manipulate you. We're not here to get any money from you. We're not here to get into your business.
Right.
We just want you to share with us, and when you share with us, we're going to share with you too.
Right. Exactly.
Because we definitely want that two-way relationship. And we know this is a fast-paced world. We know you've already developed this life. You've been on this earth 30, 40 years without us. We know that you got your responsibilities. We're not here to abdicate your responsibilities. We just want you to know that we're here. We're here, and as we've been saying the last 2 weeks, we're ready to shower some love on you.
Oh, absolutely.
So we talked about that. I think that's the best way. You have anything else to add as far as healing solutions? Any kind of other healing solutions that you can?
I think that our healing solutions is just to talk about it and connect and reconnect. Talking about it for me is the best therapy that you can get. Is just getting it off your chest.
Yeah. And not just therapy as far as, reaching out to, your family members, but also, there are professionals out there. People
I'm in therapy
people
every Wednesday. Yeah.
listen, pay attention, and to just be that person to help you process what it is, that you've been going through. If you need to, I've never had anyone tell me they spoke to a psychologist or a counselor and it went completely, belly up, beach whale. No. Everyone that I've known that has gone through counseling has been better for it. So use that tool. We understand that these things cost. If that's not something you can do, just start somewhere.
Yeah, journal.
Journaling
is great. If you can't get to a licensed therapist, write it down.
Yes.
If it's something private you don't want, write it down and then burn it. Write it down and then rip it up and throw it away, but get it out. Write it down, shred it, But for those of you who can go to a therapist, and that's something else that we do in our family, we act like talking about stuff is wrong. And it's like, it's not. For me, secrets keep you sick.
Yes.
Secrets keep you sick, and secrets keep you stuck. So you're going to be continuously stuck in that same place until you let it go, you release it. And so one of the ways that you can release it is through therapy. It's somebody who's an advocate for you, who has your best interest at heart, who's non-biased, they're not judging you. So, Black folks, we need to get over that whole stigma that therapy is just somebody getting in your business, because it's so much more. And it's so advantageous. I can't say enough good things about therapy. Therapy has literally changed my life, because, man, I was in a dark place when I first started therapy almost a year ago, right after my grandmother had passed. I was in a really, 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 really bad place. I was angry all the time. It gotten to a point where I'm like, if I don't go and talk to somebody, I'm going to end up in jail. Because I was so angry. It was like, it was just, anything would set me off and I'd be ready to fight, because I was so angry. But therapy has literally transformed me. That and going back to church has changed my life. And I don't want people to think that we're like anti-church, anti-praying, none of that. But I'm just saying, you just know that you have to, if you're going to pray about something, no, God does expect action as well. Not just you sitting and praying, God, drop $1 million in my lap. God's given you the intellect and the ability and the talent to go and do certain things that you can make your $1 million, but he's not going to just drop it in your lap because you asked for it. Right. So, go to therapy.
And then, just your support system, at home with you, I cannot say, there's not enough words to, describe, what Brandon has been, for your life. I just can't. Brandon is an amazing person.
Yeah.
He's almost a character out of a comic book.
He really is.
He is.
Yeah. He keeps me from
Brandon
going off the deep end. He really does.
His influence and his support just cannot be understated. So I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to Brandon B. Smith.
I was about to say the same thing. Shout out to my husband. Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon. Bro. But yes, what we want to do, if for all of our fans who have come to the table who are not related to us, we want to know about your generational curses. Okay. We want to know what they are, and we want to know, what have y'all done? Are y'all addressing it, or are y'all just waiting it? Are you guys burying your heads in the sand?
Come on, somebody.
I
think you might have just said something there, Brother Sean. I think you might have
said something.
You might have just said something.
You know what I'm saying? I think I'm saying something right now.
Yeah, you'd have then and now.
Are you kicking that can down the road, or are you skipping that rock on the pond? It's time to start dealing with this thing. It's time for healing. So we want to hear from you. Okay, we want to hear from you. You gotta be kidding me.
Uh-oh. Well, keep on talking, bro. We got technical difficulties.
Interrupting my sermon. How dare that? But I'm not trying to preach to you guys, but I am really, really passionate about, locating, finding this family, and just showing us, me. I just want I want my family to experience what me and Sujuane has experienced.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't tell by, by these last 3 weeks, me and Sujuane's relationship is out of this world. It's indescribable how much we have grown, what it is that we have done for each other. And just like it says on our website, we've become inseparable.
Yeah.
I don't even look at Sujuane as a cousin anymore. Sujuane is my sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sujuane is my sister.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just the way it is. We're not going back to just cousins. Sujuane is my sister. Okay, and I want all of my other brothers and sisters, in our home, sitting at the same table,
absolutely,
and talking and going on.
Yeah,
carrying on, because that's what we trying to do. We thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. You guys coming over and letting us talk to you for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
This conversation, we just putting a little pause, a little bookmark in it tonight, and just, closing it down for another time.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from you guys. Okay. This is going to be posted on YouTube on Thursday, 9 a.m.
Yep.
Am I lying? I ain't lying, right?
You're not lying. No, you ain't lying.
It's going to be posted 9 a.m.
Yeah.
for your viewing pleasure. Okay.
Yeah. And make sure you're also following us on all our social media platforms. They'll be linked in either the description, or there'll be somewhere on the video where you can find us. And you can always go to our website, which will be also linked in the video somewhere. So if you can't find us on the social media, just go straight to our website, and the links to YouTube, to Instagram, and to Facebook are all there on the website. So just click and go straight to it, and give us a follow and a subscribe and a like. It will we greatly appreciate that.
Yes. And also, you can catch our audio for those that be trying to listen to us at work. Yeah. You can our audio on Spotify. Okay, it's on there. I ain't lying. I seen it. I have to check it out for myself.
It's on there. It's on Google Podcasts, and we are currently working to get it on Apple Podcasts. So once we get them on the 3 major main platforms, we will let you guys know and make an announcement via social media and the website. So just look out for that. But right now, like Sean said, you can see us on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Yes,
and our social media pages, they are being updated daily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sujuane has been doing an excellent job. Excellent job on Instagram. On Facebook. I've been so excited. So it's going down. Make sure you look at our website. The website is going to be the portal. That's our one-stop shop. chickenandrice.com. Okay. And chicken is spelled CHICKIN, not E, but KIN, and rice.com. You go there. It's got all our episodes. It's got the link to our Facebook page, our Instagram page. It tells you how many followers I got. If that's something that you care about, okay, it's on there. Okay, in the description of what we're doing, it's on there. Come by and visit. Absolutely. So we love Guys, come on home. Sis, you got anything else for us?
We will just see y'all next week, same place, same time, for episode 4. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We moving on down the road. But if there is nothing else, peace, fam. I love you so much. We'll see you next week.
Peace.